my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to our live show, Tipsy Tuesday. Hey everybody, and welcome to our show. Thank you all for being here. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And we love hearing from you throughout the show. Comment throughout, send us hearts and thumbs up, and you can do that whether you're watching on Facebook. Also, like our page and, tell us a little bit about yourself in the comments. If you're brand new, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We always like to talk about the weather or what you're sewing on. And you know what? We have a giveaway question at the end of the show where you have a chance to win a $25 gift card. So stick around. I've got lots and lots and lots to share today. Say hello to my honey producer.
Honey producer, HP.
There he is, Mr. HP.
The original, baby. The original.
You are very bright and yellow today.
Bam.
Yeah.
I got my guy,
Oh, that's Mono Neon.
Mono Neon, the bass player.
I love that.
Who's got a record called Quilted. And
yes.
we made him a quilt, too.
We did, and he made some cool clothes out of it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to remind you, if you're watching on Facebook or if you ever want to go back to a show, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel because Facebook deletes videos now, live videos, after 3 or 4 weeks. So just so you know, all shows are available on our YouTube channel.
Why
so
do
just
that?
hit that subscribe.
Why'd they do that?
I don't know. They're always changing everything there. So, yeah, it's easier to find stuff on YouTube. We put them all into playlists for you so you can just scroll and find what you're looking for. Yeah, right? So, lots to announce today. Today is Iceland's National Independence Day. So, happy birthday, Iceland. Independence in 1944. But we've had actually our own government since the 900s. Yep. But got independent from Denmark in 1944. And more importantly, it is my dad's birthday. So he always has his birthday, of course, on Independence Day. So growing up, he, of course, told us that always there were parades and parties for his birthday.
Is he having a big party?
Huh?
Is he partying?
He always has the day off on his birthday, which is kind of fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But you kind of get jibbed because people are busy.
Right.
But I found some photos of me and my dad. I had just shared some for Father's Day, but I found some from our wedding.
Look at that.
And
That's so cute.
He is an animal on the dance floor. We took up a lot of space, which was fun. Always have some fun.
That's great.
Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. So happy birthday. Happy birthday, puppy.
Happy birthday.
Älskar dig. Okay, quilts on our set today. We have a brand new quilt that I don't think anybody's seen because this fabric just came in. I'm going to talk about it. This is a Quinn, and I was filming the Quinn Quickies Club class, which is coming out in August, and so I was able to make it out of fabric that is now here. Perfect for this quilt. And then behind you have Felicity. And this version of Felicity was the one, this is the prototype that I pieced out of fabric that I'm also going to be showing you today. It's called Moonlight. So, great quilts on the set today.
Great quilts.
Now, let's start with announcing our winner from last week. So we've been having fun with these questions from the quilter survey. So the different thing about these questions is there is actually a correct answer, but you don't have to have the correct answer. You can just say whatever or take a guess, but it's kind of informative. So this question we asked last week was, what percentage of quilters are new? So this means like how much of a percentage of quilters, I think, annually are brand new to quilting. And our winner is...
Let's get that drum roll.
Let's see, Deb Mitskog. Congratulations, Deb. Just send us an email to help@gequiltdesigns.com. We'll get you your gift card. But her answer was, her guess was 20% was new to quilting, but the actual from the survey results, about 11% annually are new quilters out of everybody that quilts. I think that's a pretty high number, actually.
I think so.
There's quite a bit, bit of renewal. Actually, the number of quilters keeps growing every year, so that's really great. So let's keep that up.
Keep it up.
Yes. So before we dive into my tip of the day, I talked about this before we went to Motivation, the event that we were at last week, and it took me all weekend to get over that. I took some naps this weekend, which I never do. So that told me something. And I got started on my Moda blockheads project. So this is a free project that Moda does every year. I believe this is blockheads sixth time they're doing this. So they have all the patterns are free. You can download them on the Moda website, or there's a Facebook group that does this also. They have a video for each block. So their designers design different blocks. And this first one, so I told you like 2 weeks ago that I was going to make this just to honor my 25-year relationship with Moda fabrics. Yes, loving relationship, I should say. But so I wanted to, of course, I'm going to be stripologizing each block. So this first one you made two. So of course I had to do them two different colors. So here are my two blocks. Here they are. And so stripologizing this one, I haven't posted my video. I'm going to do some fun little reels. I have something recorded, but things have just been wild. I did, of course, each block has 8 half square triangles. And so if you're going to stripologize it, what was perfect is to use the 8 at a time technique in the Master Your Stripology Rulers book. And so 8 at a time, I just cut one background square and one square from this color, and then same on this side. And then it's just so easy and fast, a lot less cutting, and trim them up, and they were perfect. Now I changed mine up a little bit. You'll notice that there's strips here in the center of this block, so I decided just to replace it with a big square. I love this check fabric, so I wanted to include that. And so that's my first 2 blocks. I do have everything ready for the second one, but they do have 4 out already, so I'm already way behind. But I'm not worried because I've got the fabric set aside, and so this can take some time. And I'll do like a lot of blocks at a time, and then there'll be a pause, but I'm just gonna enjoy the process. So if anybody's doing the Moda blockheads, let me know if you're stripologizing it. All you need to stripologize things is the Master Your Stripology Rulers book and some Stripology rulers. The squared mini and the quarters mini, of course, I use a lot. Also, actually, the regular squared. So it's fantastic and fun. And so I'll be showing you which things I'm stripologizing, which are, little things. I'll be posting those reels real soon. And if you have any questions, let me know. Love those blocks. Awesome. Okay, diving into our tip of the day today. Now, I've talked about for many years, I did a video way back that was called Piecing Accuracy. And it's really talks about all the different things that go into making your seams accurate and making your blocks come out right. And it's more than just that seam allowance. It's way more than just the seam allowance. It starts with a cutting, and then of course your seam allowance comes in. But then also it's about pressing. It's about prepping your fabric and all those things. So the pressing part, I've never really dove into. I'm having trouble with braining today, but to really dive into what tools we can have that improve that part. So this one talks about one of my favorites that I've been using for a long time, and it's kind of a game changer for many things, especially when you're doing precision blocks. So let's check out my tip of the day about pressing with wool. Pressing is a big part of piecing quilt blocks. And of course, as you've heard me talk about before, it really comes into play as far as improving our accuracy, is pressing correctly, being able to nest seams and keep our blocks really flat. One of the things that is really helpful to me is using a wool mat to get our seams really nice and flat, holding our blocks in place as we're pressing. So I wanted to focus a little bit on the different wool mats. So most wool mats are up to a 1/2 inch thick. They're 100% wool, so you want to make sure you're using 100% wool. The greatest advantage is their heat retention. So as you're pressing a block, not only are you getting heat from your iron straight on top of the block, but the wool beneath is retaining that heat and putting heat towards the block from the backside. So you're getting that double penetration of heat throughout. And so that means that your seams are going to be crisper and flatter, and you'll have a less need to press repeatedly, no need to be moving or pushing. There's reduced distortion too, because the wool actually grips the fabric really nicely. So as you're pressing, I'm sure you tried this on a regular ironing board where it has a slippery surface and your blocks start sliding. That doesn't happen with the wool. So it stays really nice and flat in place. It's great for when we're working with smaller pieces. I like it for especially strip sets that really grips the fabric. And if you're working with bias edges, it really helps avoid the distortion with that. So as we're pressing too with the wool, it really minimizes the warping of the fabric. So sometimes when we're pressing seams on the bias, it tends to warp as we're pushing if it's not stable. So the wool helps keep it in place. The heat helps keeping that straight. So that really makes a huge difference. The wool also minimizes or actually absorbs a little bit of moisture. So if you're pressing with steam, the wool will actually absorb some of that steam so that your fabric is not getting soaked with water if you accidentally use too much steam or something like that. So it retains it. Of course, we have to always make sure that we dry it out, make sure we air it out to keep it dry to maintain the quality of the mat. So some of the tips that I'm going to give you for maintaining your mat. Now, these are a long-term investment. They last a long time if you actually take good care of them. So first off, I would make sure to clean it off because we always get covered in thread. So some of the tools right next to my wool mat, I have a cleaning tool. This has a little bit of a rough edge. So if you're getting threads kind of ingrained into your mat, you can use that to scrape that out and clean it. Also, just regular cutting mat cleaning pads to kind of rub that off really works well. If you have a lot of little, strands, I just use a regular lint roller, works great. So, like I told you, the wool mats come in multiple sizes. I really love it. I have a thicker mat that I can pull in when I'm working with smaller pieces. But recently I have been we have wool that is 1/8 of an inch thick, and we sell this in 18 by 60 inch wide. This, I have a nice wide pressing area on my pressing table, or that's my ironing table. This I can roll out and it fully covers my table. And I have been using this nonstop on everything I do, and it really makes a difference because even though it's thin, it's going to give you those benefits that I talked about with the wool. And then you have just your regular ironing surface underneath, so you do not have to worry about anything penetrating through, like your steam or anything like that. This really works just as well as my thicker wool mats. And so I wanted to mention that. So we use this for sewing projects, but it also is great to just cover your whole pressing area. Now, how I use some of my wool mats. So if you're using a wool mat on a table, make sure you have something underneath that is not gonna get damaged, because the heat is going to penetrate a little bit through. So I wouldn't put on any plastic surface. I would only use like natural wood or anything. And then if you're going to use steam, you want to make sure you have a waterproof layer, because we will have some some of the humidity come through, and so make sure you have always something underneath. This is why I like to just have it right over my pressing surface. So some other pressing aids to getting those seams really flat and are after you press, and you've probably seen these before. These are called wooden clappers, a quilter's clapper, tailor's clappers. They are available in different sizes and shapes. So what this is a natural hardwood. So as you press a seam, if you place this on top, it's gonna do the same thing, kind of what we were talking about. The heat is already penetrated into the wool, and then it's gonna penetrate the hardwood and the weight of the wood, and then the heat retaining in the wood is going to press these seams even flatter, and you get really nice and crisp flat seams with that. We have those in multiple sizes. Like I said, they're wider, shorter. We have thinner ones. So all based on what you prefer. If you do a lot of little projects, a small one is really handy as well. There are some bigger ones as well. I have a square one that was custom made for me that I really love. And then I wanted to mention our wool pressing bar. So this is specifically for if you like or need to press seams open. You open up your seam right on top of here. It's going to adjust to it, and it's so much easier to open up seams right here when they open up naturally, and you run your iron across. It has that little layer of wool, so about the same thickness as we have in that 1/8 inch wool, so that even helps it even further. But it also acts as a clapper. So it has that wood, so you can use that as a clapper as well. Once you've opened up your seam, lay it down on iron, and then you can use it as a clapper on top. So I hope you check out some of these pressing aids. It's really going to help you get your blocks really nice and flat so they are easy to piece into your quilt. So there was just some of my tips for getting those seams really nice and flat, because I do love to press to one side, and then occasionally I will press a seam open if it needs to. Do we carry the large wool? Yes. So this is what we used for the Advent project 2 years ago. We love this, and I just tried it on my regular sewing or pressing, what is it called? I created my own pressing area. And so rolling this out, it's fantastic. And so, yes, we carry this in the size that we mentioned. You're doing a lot of pressing with steam. Do you hang up the big wool mat to dry thoroughly? So I have one that I can flip over. So you will have some condensation, and you probably notice this if you're just ironing with just a wool mat on a table or anything, you're going to get condensation on the table. So water is seeping through if you use steam, which I do all the time. So because it is so penetrable and it's going to seep through, yes, it is better to hang it up. It does dry fairly quickly, so it is better to hang it up or at least stand it up to dry so it gets some air on both sides. Is the wool we use? Yes, Linda, this is the exact same for the tablet case. It's the exact same wool. It's fantastic. And so I like it that's 18 inches, so I can press like my half yards all as I'm prepping, even just for a quilt, so I can press my half yards on it. Would it help to press the wool mat prior to putting down the block? So not necessarily. So you should, before you press a block anyways, before you open that seam, you're going to set the seam, and then that iron is already heating up the wool. It really happens fast, and then as you press, it's gonna do that. So I don't think that's necessary to heat it up beforehand. It's going to automatically pull that. And actually it retains the heat for a while. So if you're, when we come to this with a stack of blocks to press, so it's going to retain the heat between blocks. Okay, I missed that one that you put up. Okay. Love it. Loving the Maven. So Maven is the iron that it's the reliable iron that has a separate tank with the steam. Okay, there was some other questions I thought. Somebody asked about washing the wool mat. So if your wool mat, so one thing that I will always recommend, if a wool mat you see somewhere is too cheap, there's a reason for it. don't be tempted, because lots and lots of them on Amazon and other sellers like that, they are not 100% wool. So if it's not 100% wool, your iron may scorch them. And they can develop a really weird odor. Yes, there is that odor if you use, like, just like, you know, I wore wool sweaters, Icelandic wool sweaters all my life. So when that gets wet, you do kind of smell like a wet sheep, and it's not pleasant. But it's just, it is what it is, and it should never get like stinky. Now, if something happened or you spilled on it or something, you need to wash it, I would treat it just like you would washing your wool sweater, which is just soak it in maybe some wool soap in a tub. I would just soak it and then just let it dry. It's hard to wring out. You could probably roll it up a little bit, but make sure you let it dry flat. And probably you can put it out in the sunshine. And the sunshine is always kind of a disinfectant too. So funky pet, exactly, wet dog. Totally that smell, but the wool, the sheep part. Yeah, it really goes away. You're right, Nancy. The smell goes away. It's just while it's wet, and once it's gone, it's gone. And then actually, when I use steam all the time. So all my wool mats they always get damp all the time. They dry off really fast, and the smell doesn't stay. All right. Cindy said the wool pressing bar is worth its weight in gold 1,000,000 times over. I totally agree, because I do not like pressing seam open, as you know, but sometimes it just makes all the difference on those where all those seams come together. And this has been my sanity saver, I tell you that. It really helps you open up the seam, and as you're pressing that open, it doesn't mess up your other seams. That was my biggest frustration. So it's great. Okay, so good. I'm glad I could educate you a little bit on wool and wool mats. We've got one size in stock, the Gypsy Quilter one, and then we got that thin wool. So check it out if you want to try that. Okay, let's move on to we have a shop partner spotlight for you today. So as we've talked about before, we have a network of Stripology shop partners. Those are brick and mortar quilt shops all over the country. They are all listed on our website, so check it out if you might have a shop near you. They are going to be this place for all our Stripology products, lots of fabric bundles, and classes. So some of the clubs that are exclusive to the stores, and then some of our events, they offer you to be able to do that in person with a group of fellow Stripologists. So this time around, we are going to be visiting the Society shop. So let's see what they have to offer.
Good morning from Society. We're a new Stripology partner shop, and so I thought I'd start by showing you a quilt from the Quickies book. This is Winnie, and I've done Winnie in my favorite colors, Bronco colors. Woo-hoo. And after we quilt this one, I'm actually going to make a jacket out of it, but I'm afraid I'm going to have a hard time cutting it up.
Yes, it's beautiful.
But it is going to become a jacket to wear to the game. And then you'll notice, of course, that we do sell Handy Quilter. And we'll take a little look around here. We're a Judy Niemeyer certified shop as well. So we're big on those classes and kits.
Look at all those long arms.
And all those long arms, yes. And here's our beautiful classroom. And now, Karen, I want to show you our Stripology area.
Right.
So we're walking, and I'll give a little commentating on the way over. Over here we have a large variety of superior threads, which are some of our favorites.
Yes.
And then you're going to notice some machine accessories, which we sell off. And we also sell the sister brand Viking. So come along. This is more of our showroom area with all our fabrics and notions and that sort of thing.
We get you in lots of trouble here.
Lots of trouble. And then back over here is our Stripology area. And before we were partners, we made a lot of Stripology quilts even before then. But we also love to do it for some of our 10 sisters where we're putting stuff on the grids. It's just so great for the cutting. So we're in the process of getting our little club started. And so we're here for all your Stripology needs. Ciao.
So I think they forgot to tell you where they are. They are in Castle Rock, Colorado. So if you're ever heading to the Rocky Mountains, check it out. I'm excited for having a shop in that area. So awesome job. Looks like a really fun place to visit. Check it out if you're in the Colorado area. All right, we have this past week, the Little Billy became available in the Lil Pattern Club. So that happened on Tuesday. And that's, of course, one of the programs that our shops, our partner shops, are operating. And they have the actual physical patterns available. They make kits. And we thought we would share some of the different versions of Little Billy. Yeah, now, you have probably all seen ours. This was the original that I made, the prototype. And then I pieced... this one I pieced during the class using one of our little bundles, and then we did one out of our Lil Bundle Club fabrics, the strawberry jam, which is beautiful as well. But let's take a look at some more options. I love everybody's different spins on them. This one is by Chicken Feed Quilts. Chicken Feed, not feet. Chicken Feed Quilts. And I love that they added a narrow border to theirs, so a really pretty version. This one is also from Chicken Feed, and this one is similar to the version I did, just having some fun with the layout of the blocks. And you can do that when you have such limited colors and lots of contrast, so that's great. And then we have Pine Needles down in Rochester, Minnesota. I love this one. Red, white, and blue, perfect for summer and July celebrations. We have Quilter's Cupboard. Made this one. This one is super cool. I love incorporating those solids with the prints. What a fun way. And this is a different layout too, just a diagonal, kind of using the contrast of the solids and the prints. That's a really cool way to do that. Then we have Ray-Ban up in Fargo has this one. Beautiful. I love that floral in the border. And so a really pretty version of that one. Oh, look at that display. That is cute. Gorgeous. And I think that is it. So we showed some last week from some of our other shops. So check it out. If you like any of those, you can always contact the shop, and I'm sure they'd be happy to send you a kit. But I wanted to show you, since we are talking about our little patterns and Little Billy, we, of course, sell our versions of charm packs, which is our little bundles, and we have some new ones that in the store that you might not have seen or known about. So let me show you some of the new ones. We have Memories Unfold, super cute line from Andover by Stephanie Organis. So that's new. We have Rainier. Now we usually cut for most of our bundle. When we cut half yard bundles, we have half yard bundles, 5/4 bundles, and little bundle from most of our collections. We have Songbird. This one is really cute. I really want to do something with that one. This is a Camelot fabrics, kind of grays and yellows and mustard. We have some red, white, and blue, Stars, Stripes, and Sun. This is, I think, I think this is Art Gallery or Figo Fabrics. I don't remember either one. We have Sacre Blue, which is beautiful French General. Perfect lights and darks, so we would create automatically a really nice contrast. And we have Creative Landscapes, a new Louis and Irene collection that we showed not too long ago, so these are all available. Our little bundles will have 6 by 21 inch piece of each of the fabrics, so totaling a yard, and you can cut them into 5-inch squares, so you'll get actually 48 squares out of them, but you can also cut strips and do all kinds of fun things with it. You can cut a lot more than just squares, so really fun. This is all new stuff, and we will keep them coming, everybody. Really fun stuff. Okay, there's so much to do today. I know. let's talk about FanFest, because we opened up registration for some of our special events that are connected to our FanFest 2025. That's happening September 10th through the 13th. And this is now our, fourth annual FanFest?
Fourth? Wow.
It's so fun. I am so kind of tickled by what we have coming. So we put up, of course, the Paisley Park tour with Mr. HP, which is taking place on Thursday at 4. That one sold out instantly.
Yeah.
So guess what? He is so nice, everybody, that he added a second tour.
What?
He added a second tour for 1:30 on Thursday. So there are some spots open.
And guess who's doing it with me?
Yeah, Mr. Shade.
Mr. Shade is doing it with me.
Yeah, he used to be a tour guide at Paisley Park, so he knows a lot, and he's a Prince fan.
He still is a tour guide. He still does it.
Oh, he does it. Yeah, he does it
part-time.
part-time. But he's also been a fan for many, many years, so he's got some
he knows
really
some
good
inside.
knowledge.
You want to hear some inside. He knows.
Yeah, that's going to be the best ever.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a private tour. It'll just be the tour group and them too, so that's always fun because you can ask all kinds of questions. So that's open. I think there was one spot open for the 4 o'clock because some people wanted to move to the earlier one. And then we have Friday, we have our warehouse tour and live studio watch party. That was already sold out, but we figured out a way to put a few more in here. So there's a few spots there. Of course, we have a few spots left for my classes. I'll be hosting a full day class on Wednesday. That's September 10th. And for a brand new pattern, you'll be the first to see it. Those that sign up, we are working on getting sewing machines for everybody to be able to reserve. So if you're traveling from out of town, we got you. Don't worry about it. If you're local, of course, you might want to bring your own. And then the half day class is on Thursday morning. That's also going to be a brand new little pattern. And no, it's not going to be one that is in our Little Pattern Club. It's also going to be brand new. Brand spanking new. So there's just a few spots in both of these classes. We have our FanFest Gala, dinner and a show, and bingo.
Oh,
at the FanFest Gala. That's Friday night. So that's well over a half full too. So hoping that everybody's going to participate. So we're very excited. You can find all this on our website and sign up if you're coming. And then, of course, we have our Saturday, which is everything is free on Saturday. It's our big tent sale. We're going to have live music, some food trucks, and stage demonstrations. And, yes, lots of fun.
Y'all trying to step it up every year, huh?
Yeah, we're going to probably have some, just for you guys, some reveals of stuff that's coming. You always do something special for our folks that come visit us for FanFest. So really looking forward to it. So check it out if you had some spots, if you were looking at some of these events and wanting to participate and missed out, we got some more openings. Okay, I wanted to mention last week too, everything was kind of a whirlwind before going to Dallas for that event. And you always take some time to recover after. But we talked about we have a new Stripologized Tilda kit in the store. That's the new camper van quilts, and we have 2 colorways. We are cutting these kits right now. But for those of you that don't know what is a Stripologized Tilda kit, I just wanted to offer a little more explanation. So here is the block. I made 1 block so far. I'll be doing a little bit more because I always do a video. So if you've never seen a Tilda pattern, this is the cutting instructions that you get for the block. So yeah, they're very detailed, and each piece is just mentioned here in the chart, and then it just gives you the dimension. You have to do all the calculations of how many pieces to cut from each piece, figure out how many from each fabric, and so it is quite the ordeal to cut this way. Of course, when I stripologize something, I have you cut strips and subcut them in the most efficient way. So I take all of this, I consolidate it into that type of cutting instructions, but I go beyond that. So if there's any parts in the pattern that we can stripologize using the techniques in the Master Your Stripology rulers, or, which in this case weren't many, yes, I will do certain things like, for example, this all here, I'm not going to have you cut these little rectangles. I'm going to, of course, strip piece these. Strip piece and subcut. Also here we have some strip piecing and subcutting. But then also you'll see that there's these really unique angles on some of these units. And the Tilda instructions will have you cut a piece and mark points, and then you got to sew point to point, and you press and hoping for the best. So there's one angled piece here, and there were actually two here. It was one this way and then one down here. So what I did, I of course made it more efficient, so you're actually just cutting a piece off, you're adding a larger piece and pressing it, and then we just trim it to a perfect size. And I do that with this. So I include all of those instructions, and then you get a little video just noting the points in the pattern that I've adjusted for you. So it really makes these Tilda quilts a little bit more doable. I will say though, they're small pieces. They're super adorable, but they're small pieces. So it's not for everybody, but it's my goal to make them a little more doable. So this was actually really fun. They are so cute, these little camper vans. And so we have two. So what you're paying for in the kit and what you get in the kit is all the additional fabrics, like the background and the basics that go into the quilt. We have the two colorways. It does not include the wallflower, which is usually the florals. Can you show this again? So you can see it. So all the florals, that's from the wallflower collection we had, or at least had. Maybe we have some still, some fat quarter bundles. But of course, you can use whatever else for that. If you have other Tilda fabrics, you can use that, because they are really those, if you collect Tilda, they're all very similar. This one is really fun because it just gives me some 70s, 60s, 70s vibes. So that everything, the kit will hold all the fabrics, so the background, basics, and binding, and then you'll get my Stripologized instructions in a PDF and a video. So you still have to get the pattern from Tilda. They're free. The pattern is free on Tilda. So just wanted to tell you how they work, and we're going to continue to do these. We've actually done it for more than just Tilda patterns. So some of the box kits from Riley Blake we've done, Endless Love. You guys, I just warms my heart that you're really loving these. It makes things more doable. Okay. Any questions? All right, we can move on, because there's so much to talk about today. Oh, well, let me just hold on a couple of minutes and we'll talk about this. As you may have seen on our social media and heard from before, if you were at retreat, you know about this. I am, fairly new, since officially at H&H show. I am an ambassador for Madeira Threads. Madeira Threads, we've talked about a little bit before on shows, and I will be talking about this a lot more. We just got our big shipment of Madeira, so we have been updating our inventory on the website for all the Madeira threads, and we brought in some really cool new stuff. Now, we don't have it all on the website yet because this was massive, but the cotton thread that I use, so it's called Cotona, and I use the 50 weight for everything, all my piecing. It is just precious thread. It's really great. It's good price, and I love the colors, the quality, and lack of lint that it creates. Now, your fabrics will still create some lint. But so we have all the colors in the 50 weight. They come in two sizes. We have the larger spools, and then we have some collections that we'll be posting later. The cotton also comes in a 30 weight, which is thicker thread, and I'm going to do a whole tip of the day on thread weight and what you should use the different ones from. It also comes in 80 weight, which is really great for fine stuff. If you want just a machine applique, you barely see the thread, is great. But then some of my favorites that we're excited about, we have pre-wound bobbins. Yes. So if you ever used pre-wound bobbins, which is the ones for the machines that use a class 15 bobbins, we have them in white and black. Now this is polyester, but it is a very fine polyester. So when you use those pre-wound bobbins, there's a lot more on the bobbin. These have a paper spool. The core is plastic, but it's paper. It works really great for my baby lock machines. Of course, it doesn't work for all machines, but I have been really loving using this. And being that it's finer, it just gives my seams, they're just neater, more precise. And when I'm pressing, it just folds over very nicely. Now, that's one of my favorite things. We also have bobbin thread, specific bobbin thread, both cotton and polyester on spools, but that's probably not listed yet. Well, we're still working on that. My second most exciting thing is we got all of their machine quilting thread, which is Arrow Quilt. And we have these really cool, they have two different versions of this. We also sell the spools individually. It's probably not all on the website yet, but these are these fun little 8-pack. So instead of a case of beer, you can get a case of thread. How cool is that? I want to go to a party with this. Okay. So it's 8 different, it's just a variety pack or a value pack. You have the basic, so you have the light, the black, the tan, and some other lighter colors that are kind of common. So these are the kind of the basics, and then we have the variegated. I absolutely love their variegated thread. It's subtle, but gives you just that fun little variety if you have a lot of colors in your quilt, and I've used quite a few of these already for my quilts. And you loved quilting with this.
I didn't know until I switched.
Tried it. How great it was. Yeah.
I switched and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, Julie's been quilting with this for a while now because they sent us a whole bunch of stuff for me to try before it was all official, and I absolutely love it. So
me being an amateur, I was like, thread is thread.
Oh no.
But no. It's not.
Oh no.
I learned that quick.
Yeah. So this is really great. I will introduce you more as we get it on the website. We have some box kits of different assortments that are really exciting, and so we'll be talking about it more and learning about thread weights and how you can really do the optimal thread for whatever project and for your machine. All right, let's dive into some fabric. Is it all 40 weight? It's 40 weight. It doesn't really feel like other brands that are 40 weight. Yeah, it's 40 weight. It's got a poly core. It's really great. It's really designed perfectly for long arm quilting, and just has a beautiful little sheen on it, and just quilts gorgeous. You use polyester thread in your bobbin when you're piecing with cotton on top. Yes. Oh yes. I was taught, I know, you have to have the same thread on the top and on the bottom, but what actually happens with when you have a finer thread in the bobbin and even polyester, it really grabs the thread, and the stitch is just beautiful. So I've just tried to educate myself a lot more, and we're going to do some educating, you guys. I have some now connections with the experts, so we're excited to bring in some thread education, right? Always good learning. Okay, let's talk about fabric. I have, and this may lead into the question that we were just asked. We have a new panel that just came in. This one is called Jeepers Creepers Halloween, and it is by QT. These are the most adorable blocks and really fun, and there's a lot of them. So there are 16 different, and that's what I think is so fun, 16 different images. So can you put that up, the whole thing? That shows them all. Look how cool they are. So they measure, you can cut them to 8.5 inches or so. And we just got in some 1 yards with it, so we didn't put together a bundle, but we got the panel. And then we have this black spider web, Jeepers Creepers spider webs, this beautiful orange, kind of a Festivus print is called, burnt orange. We have the Jeepers Creepers stars, and then it's not Jeepers Creepers, but they use it, I used it with it, Into the Woods texture blender. So it's kind of like a wood texture. It's really cool, and it really goes with the colors in this. So we are just selling this individually, but some of you know that I'm working on a printed panel book. So I just made one of the quilts in the book, and that is kind of a topper version of this quilt. So I thought I would show you. Just really got this done. So of course you have to wait for the book. We will be sharing more information real soon on it, where you get a chance to put in a pre-order. But just 5 panels for this one. And guess who quilted this up for me?
And guess what thread I used?
Guess what thread you used?
Madeira.
You used just a dark gray Madeira arrow quilt. And I want to show you. So this is the black version where I just literally used these 3 prints for my accents. And so this quilt in the book will be a couple of sizes. So it's a topper size or wall hanging size, and then a bigger lap quilt. And then I actually, since I had more panels, I just decided to do a light version too. So I just finished this up actually today. I had all the blocks done. But if you want a lighter version, so I just used that wood print and then the black and stars. So really fun. So check that out.
Thank you, Miss Rhonda.
Oh, nice. Put up your own compliments.
Thank you, Miss Rhonda.
I know.
I appreciate
You're
you.
just you're flirting for compliments, aren't you?
I'm in control here.
Exactly. So Jeepers Creepers is available, sold individually, and if you're interested in making this quilt, get your hands on the fabric first, and you'll hear more about the pattern. All right. Let's talk about this collection. So the quilt hanging behind Mr. HP was the first Felicity quilt eye piece. I used this collection called Moonlight by Wyndham Fabrics, and it's a beautiful organic line. It's kind of like basics. It's pretty tone on tone, but it's organic fabric. So by Mana Luna, and so they're known for their gorgeous. It's just the finish on these is just beautiful. The hand is gorgeous and was really great to sew with. So we have a 12-piece bundle of that one. And I just wanted to show you because I never really showed it. So I love these. And like I said, you can put them all into a quilt like I did, or you can use them as basics. I love the muted colors. They're just unique colors. So these blues, and there's, I think, 4 or 5 different prints. I think 4 different prints. So here are the 4 different prints. This is kind of like little specks in the navy. And we have the teal. Beautiful. And then emerald green. So I just picked my favorite colors. Again, we have this as a fat quarter bundle as well. So if you wanted fat quarters, you can do that. And then love this little dandelion print. Seeds, blowing seeds. And then into the more warm colors. This is so rich and gorgeous. Little bit lighter color. We have that rust brick color. And number 12 is kind of the seeds in that peachy color. So this is the 12 pieces. This is Moonlit by Mana Luna for Wyndham. So I didn't do a fabric pull for the Moonlit just because it is kind of a basic. So it would be, it would have been cool to pull like prints with it. But I have another collection, like I promised. This one is hanging behind us in the Quinn quilt, and it's called Acorn Hollow. This is Moda. This is basic gray. Beautiful, beautiful fabric. So I'm going to start here. I love this. I love the colors. It's kind of a different take on a little bit of a fall collection. So we're starting here with this green. You know I love my green colors. I really chose to go 6 greens and then 6 kind of warm browns and golds in here. And that just has such variety options as far as what quilts to make. So bringing in these different shades of green. This sage green is beautiful, just a very subtle typography. You can barely read it. It's so small, but it just gives that texture. Love this flower print here. Those blossoms are so cool. And I have to say, this one is also one of my favorites. I've been a basic gray fan for whenever they came up with their first lines. Another kind of a sagey green background, beautiful branches. We have a geometric print. These little circles and squares, they kind of interlock if you can't see it, but it comes off as like a little dot. But again, shade difference in the greens is just so pretty. And then we have this all over print. Oh, I got to turn it around. Which is really, looks like seed pockets, little bean stalks or something. And then they have one really cute whimsical print of all of the woodland creatures. All right, can you name all these animals? There's birds and bunnies and fox and squirrels, little mouse. There's a bat. There's a butterfly. I don't know, what is this, a skunk or is this a badger? Maybe?
Maybe.
What is this, a gopher?
Maybe.
Minnesota gopher.
I see a frog.
Yeah, there's lots in here. Really a cute print.
Yeah.
It's a badger. I think it's a Wisconsin badger, and then we have a Minnesota gopher.
Are they playing together nicely?
They're friends, you know?
Nice.
You know, we know a lot of badgers. And we're friends with them. One of them is my son, so
True that.
I have to be friends.
True that.
Love this print here again in the brown. This is a really, really rich brown, so lots of warmth in it. So lots of red and gold. And then I love this print. So fern leaves and little acorns. Had to throw in a grunge. So they always come out with great grunges. Basic Gray, of course, is the designer of grunge. And they come out with grunges with every collection that match kind of the way of the collection. If it's a unique coloring of a collection, I kind of love that. So then we have the branches in this burnt orange color and finishing with the geometric print in the lightest gold. So if you notice, I talk about this all the time, to have variety, even though it's really just 2 shades, to have that variety of color is really going to give your quilt that life. And then, so speaking of all of the grunges, let's show you some of the unique grunges. So this is a new one. This is so fresh in here that I literally ripped this out of the people's hands folding in the showroom. So no tags on it. But this one is called Nutmeg. Nutmeg, this deep, rich, reddish brown, beautiful color. There's another brown that's called Grunge Soil. So really deep dark, but still warm. It's like almost purplish. And that one goes with this deep background. So I love those. And then we have, don't worry if you can't see the names on it. If you go to the product page for the Acorn Hollow bundle, these will all be listed with it. So you'll be able to see them all there. Then we have the greens. We have Grunge Sage. This is a beautiful light green color with specks of darker green. Love this one. And a darker green is Grunge Eucalyptus. Also beautiful shade of green. Just so unique. So I love it. This is why I love them coming out with the unique ones. There's also the one that we used in here. This one is called Yam. Grunge Yam. We love our yams, don't we?
Our yams.
Yes. And then there's a couple more that great background option. This is actually the sashing color I used in my Quinn quilt. And this one is called Ecru. right? Yeah, ecru. So I'm going to put that over here. And then there's one more that is it's in some of the prints. It's this beautiful pink, but it has orange, that burnt orange in it. So they're calling this one Apple, Grunge Apple. So that one is great, would be great for an accent, for little small borders, maybe binding. But as you can see, the badger is, and some of the flowers is exactly that color. So that would work great. I did pull some more because we don't want to just do grunge. So some of the other colors I pulled for the browns, I pulled Thatched Mocha, a great medium brown to go in there. And for more of the golds, a Deco Stitch Pecan Praline is great. We don't have much room today. Pretty zoomed in here. All right, we'll make it work. Make it work. Oh, there we go. Thank you, sir. This is handy. There we go. Now I can see everything. For more greens, I loved, well, this is kind of a grayish green, Flora Elements Stormy Sea, but it has that green hue, so some of the lighter greens, this works in here perfectly. And then I love this one, Flights of Fancy in the spruce, also a beautiful green color that would work perfectly with all the others. Couple more option for a background, very similar, Dry Brush Taupe. So it's very similar to the new grunge, so you could use either or. And then for the lightest kind of hue of that sage, seedling sage, even though it looks kind of off-white, but when you put it with these greens, you see it as a perfect match. So this is our Acorn Hollow by Basic Gray for Moda Fabrics. And I'm sure you'll see more of this quilt behind me. This is the Quinn, and I used, like I said, I used that, what's it called? Ecru grunge for the sashing, and then the darkest one, the new Soil for the dark accent, or the sashing posts and the squares. All right, so let's take a look at our question, our giveaway question. That's all we have left, right? That was a lot to talk about today.
Non-stop.
Our giveaway question, all you got to do is answer this in the comments, and it's not about getting the right answer. It's just taking a guess, and you're already entered into a giveaway. What percentage of men are in the quilting industry? This is a trick question a little bit, because men that are in the industry
doesn't mean not quilting,
or men that are quilters.
Right.
I'm not sure. The quilting industry is the question. Percentage. How big of a percentage of the industry is men?
35.
It's probably higher than people expect, would guess.
Yeah.
It's a lot of quilters, too. And we love having them among us. Right, sir, Mr. Quilter?
Come on now, fellas.
So let us know in the comments. Just take a wild guess, and we'll get you what that survey said. Survey said. I'm
gonna start making quilts.
Survey says.
I'm gonna start making quilts with only guys' names.
Some of mine are both. Taylor, Frankie. Come on.
Did I just get myself in trouble?
You got yourself in trouble right now. All right, next up at GE, let's take a look. Our 1 Yard Wednesday show is coming tomorrow morning at 9:30. Jody will show you some great 1 yards. Happy Friday show will be coming this Friday, June 20th. We'll be there with you on Friday. Some fresh new stuff and a cocktail, of course. And then next week from today, Tipsy Tuesday will be Tuesday, June 24th at 4 p.m. Central. And guess what it is? What is it? It's time for another Dangerous Block.
Oh, boy.
Next week. I know, time flies. Don't tell me June is almost over.
Almost done.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Well, that's a great show. Thank you all for being a part of it and watching, hanging in with us. We will see you next time. Bye.
Lay your fabric here. Cut it right there. Home of the Stripology. Feel that vibe.